Bye, guys. All right, guys, I'm in Pagosa Springs. I'm looking for somewhere decent to eat. There's a market going on. Definitely stopping. Okay. I don't want to eat fast food, and I don't want to eat junk, so I think I'm gonna turn around. I've gone through a bunch of little towns on this way home. This way home is so much better, you guys. If you ever do this drive, take 160 instead of I-25 in Colorado. It's so much more beautiful. You go through the mountains. Oh, East Side Market and Food Court. All right, this is where we're gonna hang out for a little bit for lunch today, guys, on my drive to the Four Corners. So let's see what's going on. So I just had the most intense, amazing experience with a lady and her husband who have a booth here from Sedona. I didn't know they were from Sedona. I went over to them. I just kind of lit up this whole place here. It was really nice, all the people I just met and all the beautiful just encounters that I experienced just now. But this one in particular, I have to share with you guys because I'm lit right now. I walked over to their booth and she said, I heard you say Sedona. And I said, yeah, I'm on my way back to Sedona. I'm here. I was here to help build an EARTHSHIP. She was like, oh my God, we live off grid, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, in the middle of us talking, where are you from? Oh my God, we live in Rimrock, Cottonwood, this and that, where right next to where I live. She turns to me and she goes, I'm being guided to tell you, you need to get a piece of Moldavite. And I said, what? And she goes, I don't know where that's coming from. I'm being guided to tell you, you need to. Now, mind you guys, before I left on this trip, I've been really processing a lot of the fact that I'm always the one who is doing the reading for everyone else. This is going to sound self-involved or, arrogant, or I don't want it to sound any of those things when I say I'm usually the strongest person in the room when it comes to my gifts. And it's very, very few and far between that I meet people that can channel for me and hold that for me. And Caitlin, you're one of them. Shout out to you, girl. River's Heart. Ryan's another one. Jason's another one. And this lady apparently is another one. And I bought myself a piece of Moldavite for my birthday. I haven't told anybody about it. It's still on hold because it was expensive. It's a blade and it has a spiral 24 karat gold case around it. And the first time I ever worked with Moldavite, my ego wanted to get it when I moved to Sedona because I had to have Moldavite. It's going to blast me into 5D and blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't time for me to work with it. It went missing less than a week after I got it, just completely vanished. And so over the last almost decade, I've been I haven't really thought about Moldavite, to be honest, and it just called out to me. And anyway, she knew about the Moldavite, and then she kept saying, I almost can't talk to you and look at you because you're blasting I can feel your crown. You activate my crown chakra. She said, it's almost too much for me. And I said, well, the fact that you're even able to do it means the world because I very rarely meet anybody who can. And she looked at me and she goes, I don't know why, but I want to start crying. And she's like, you are here. Anyway, we had a little cry together just to have someone be able to see me, really see me, really see me and really feel me and understand me on an energetic level. That is so, it was very much needed and I'm very grateful for it. So I will see you guys back in Cottonwood, both of you beautiful people. And thank you. Look what they gifted me, you guys. While we were hugging and crying together, me and his wife, the husband turned to me and handed me this. And when I touch it, it sends tingles up my arm, which doesn't happen a lot anymore from crystals. But they made this out of desert cactus that they find on the land. It's a wand. And you want to know what's even more magical? Now that I'm in my RV and I'm turning it into my magical gypsy palace, I've been seriously thinking about, you know, wanting to do my anointing oils, really have an altar space, really have a healing space and a manifestation altar and all kinds of fun things where I can put my magic potions, right? And the store that I found last night when I went into Pueblo, in like downtown Pueblo, there was this, the only store open, mind you, again, like the universe. Right where I parked, there was a beautiful painted square. There are so many reasons why this trip is amazing and special. Not only is it my first time working with Cobb, my first time visiting an EARTHSHIP, but it's my first time to Colorado, and it's the first action I've taken towards the next step of this goal of having a homestead of my own and having an EARTHSHIP of my own. It's not easy, you guys. I see these people struggling and they have the bigger picture in mind, but you see the dollars adding up and you wonder. I've been wondering to myself for the past like 24 hours that I've been here, the dollar amounts, adding them up in my head and trying to figure out a way around them and how I can manifest things in a different way than going by the book and spending all that money, right? Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. And right next to where I parked, I walked like a block. Nothing open, nothing open, nothing open. And I hear some fabulous 90s music playing across the street. I go across the street and it's this amazing little witchy gypsy store. And the girls were amazing. Shout out to you girls. I'll put the name of your store here. They were awesome. But I tell you guys to say, I tell you all that to say, I got my little altar bottles that I'm going to start putting herbs and salts and crystals and oils in, and start doing my little ritual magic again, right? Manifesting magic. Wow, today's been a really magical day. I'm going to keep going. Let's get back on the road, you guys. You guys, I just saw the craziest deer carcass on the highway. My hair looks crazy because I've been driving with the windows open through the mountains in Colorado, but I just wanted to share real quick. What do you guys do when you see a dead animal on the side of the road or in the road? God, I would love to stop and give it energy and do all that every time, but I don't. But what I do is I visualize green healing light and gold light and pink light, you know, lots of love and an easy transition and as little suffering as possible. And I just poof, and I just blast that anytime I see a dead animal on the road, you guys. Send that energy that its soul may go wherever it's going in peace, and that it goes through as quick and small amount of pain and suffering as possible. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. And I'll be there. All right, guys, we are at Four Corners Monument. It literally, after 6 hours of driving, just went from greenery straight back to desert, which is what happened yesterday, or 2 days ago, but in the opposite direction. So yeah, let's go see what's going on over here. Public and open than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to find a spot and go do some energy work. Ah, they're melted! I'm all sticky! Fuck. Oh my god, you guys, we're passing the Grand Canyon. That's what I was just filming for you guys. What the actual fuck? That's the Grand Canyon. I still haven't been there yet. Yeah. That'll be another video. We'll have to go see the Grand Canyon. Alright, anyway. Good morning, you guys. I'm home and I'm back reunited and it feels so good. She hates me right now. I got my Moldavite. Check it. Last night was my first night sleeping with it. So we need to summarize. I want to summarize and just wrap everything up as far as this Colorado trip. And my adventures and everything that went down and what I'm taking away from it. So I just want to thank Susan and Matt again. First of all, you guys are such inspirations to people like me who, you know, want to be in your shoes one day as far as owning land and doing the damn thing, right? So thank you guys so much for having me and making me feel welcomed on your property and letting me help put my energy into your beautiful house. I mean, wow, thank you, right? As far as like what I'm taking away from this, you guys, I have to say, I feel like I walked away with the most important thing, which was finally some hands-on experience, right? That is just second to none, and that is, you know, invaluable experience. Like, that pushes me and gets me so excited to do more natural building, and for that I'm grateful for everything, right? But I have to say, like, I walked away from this knowing a lot of things that I know that I'm not going to do, right? Roads that I'm not going to go down in my own process. You know, these people that I stayed with, you guys, they're doing everything by the book, and it's amazing and beautiful, but they're $330,000 in the hole. I hope they don't mind me sharing that. They were open about it when I was there. You know, they've taken out a lot of money and spent a lot of money to do this. And with any home project, right, any building project, construction project, you can expect delays, you can expect unexpected costs, of course. Sorry, I'm all sweaty. All of those things come up when you do a home renovation, or you are building something as, you know, important as a house, right? My dad growing up, little side note, you know, my dad owned an interior design firm when I was a kid, my whole life. And he had a designer he worked with, and they were partners. He would come in and he would measure your space, go back, draw you new cabinets, design it on graph paper by hand. This is back in the day, guys. And then he would come rip out your kitchen or whatever it is, and have his guys come in and build it for you. And so I grew up knowing, like, these things come up, you know, just all kinds of delays happen when you do any kind of home renovation or building project, right? So that's a little side note. But having said that, like, seeing Matt and Susan go through all of these unforeseen costs to go by the book, to be up to code, to go out of their way, or, you know, having done something and then had to go back and fix it or update it or whatever it is to make it the way that it's accepted, that's not something that is, it's not something I'm interested in doing, which sounds arrogant, but it's not part of, like, where I see my journey. You know, the whole reason I chose to move off grid, you guys, was, you know, this was a choice not to be a slave anymore. And to me, to be a slave means to be in debt and to be in need if shit hits the fan. If shit goes down, I want to be able to look after myself and my loved ones and not need anyone else, right? And so that's why I made the choice to move off grid in the first place. And so the thought of taking out any kind of loan or borrowing any kind of money to do this project for myself is just not part of my reality. And so that was a really important lesson that I took away from this. Very, very important lesson. Because now I know, like, I really have to go above and beyond to figure out ways around these things. You know, a year ago, right before, this is right around I got the van, about a year ago, right before we moved off grid, I was calling all the counties, just asking all kinds of questions here in Arizona about how I can build, where I can build, can I do this if I do that, and can I do this if I do, you know, and just taking notes and studying and figuring out. And, you know, the way Matt and Susan did it, God, their property is so amazing, you guys. They live in, like, a gated HOA community in the hills of Colorado. It's absolutely stunning. You know, while we were there, they were babysitting their neighbors' horses and animals while their neighbors were away. And so that's one of the pluses of living in a community like that, right? Safety and community and closeness with your neighbors. They all know each other. You know, they all babysit each other's cows and horses if they're away. It's really cool. But having gone there and seeing all of these things, like all of these rules and regulations and all these things that, like, I'm not interested in dealing with in my own project. So, like, I know that I'm not going to have an HOA. I know now that I'm not going to have, you know, I know that I want to be in the middle of nowhere where there are less rules as opposed to 45 minutes from town where I have to pay fees and there are so many rules and I have to do everything by the book and spend a fortune doing it. It's not part of my reality. I can't, it's not something I'm interested in doing. And so that was something I took away from this. You know, I'm so grateful for everything that happened, you guys, all the amazing connections I was able to make, the two beautiful souls that we were all there together this weekend, or that weekend, I should say. This experience was amazing, and it's such a great inspiration to me to see what these people are doing. They're doing it, they're doing it. Another thing I learned was being in Colorado, being in the hills and the greenery, I am being called back to the woods. Like, that is a soul knowingness that I came home with. I know that my land isn't in Arizona. I don't know where it is yet, but I have a few places in mind that I'm going to go check out. I know it's waiting for me, and it's all good. But that was something that I came home with, which is so amazing, is that knowingness that the woods are calling me again. I need to go back to the woods. And so that was another realization I had during my time in Colorado. And, just my experiences in Pagosa Springs, you guys meeting all those beautiful souls. I didn't even tell you about the other two booths that I ran into. The first booth I walked up to was this beautiful young girl, Native American girl, who sets up shop here in the canyon in Sedona. And she just has gotten into silversmithing, and her work was amazing, and we were having a chat. And the next booth I went up to was a guy from Sedona who does, he recycles wild tonic kombucha bottles, and he makes these amazing light fixtures. And that was the other connection I made. So I'll put these links below for you guys. But just the Kismet meetings and all of the amazing relationships I've been able to create on this trip have been breathtaking. And how about coming to a tea stop on the way home with signs saying North Rim, South Rim, welcome to the Grand Canyon, and I'm like, where are we? That's how I'd never taken I-60 before. When I leave the state, I always go I-40 and I go straight east, So yeah, that happened. We're at the Grand Canyon. That's why we just drove past all of those formations that look like we're on a completely other planet. What the actual fuck? It was a really amazing experience. And in summary, you guys, do what it is you're being called to do. It's time for us to all stand in our power and our light and put our wings up and our big girl and boy panties on and get this shit cracking. Because I know you guys are getting hits in your own lives to do whatever it is that whatever that vision is for you in your mind. Like my house, when I envision my house, it's not a traditional earthship. Yes, I'm going to take all the fundamentals that come along with an earthship, right? A greenhouse, a solar greenhouse, passive solar greenhouse facing southeast, half the house being bermed underground so that you keep the insulation in the winter and it stays cool in the summer from the vacuum and the cooling tubes. All of those fundamental principles, putting your kitchen and your bathroom on the sides at higher grades so that, look at my dog's feet, so that the water runs off down into the greenhouse and then gets upcycled back into the toilets, and all of the principles that come along with what an earthship is. I'm going to be taking those and just regurgitating an art piece that nobody's ever seen before. That's what I have in my mind. Turrets and nooks and crannies and rounded doors and creaking windows and recycled framed glass and stained glass and imagine medieval Elizabethan England and Versailles and put that together. I don't fucking know, but it's gonna be something the world has never seen. And so in knowing that, I know that I can't go by the book, and I know that my piece of land that I'm waiting for, that's waiting for me, I should say, it's not gonna have regular regulations. It's gonna have the regulations that I require to build what I see in my mind's eye, right? And so the point, I say that all to say to you guys, whatever you see in your mind's eye right now, however crazy or outlandish or oh my God, I could never really do that, I'm tied down by X, Y, and Z. No, I'm here to tell you, this is the energy. The energy is present to manifest anything that you wish in your reality. It is our choice I should say, As beings on this planet with free will, it's up to you to make the choice to manifest what it is you see. Do you want it? Are you taking the steps and putting your energy where you have to go? Where it has to go to manifest that? Pay attention. Are you focusing on what other people are saying and doing and not what you're doing and saying? That's like the biggest thing, is like, if you don't mind your thoughts and actions, you're not manifesting shit. You need to get your act together, get your game face on, get your soul right and your heart right and your energy right. And then the magic starts, right? Then the fun starts. Then it's like, oh my God, you know? Oh, by the way, we're supposed to get chickens today. I have to go weed this place. They're going to be free range out here, and then we're going to keep them locked up in there at night. You can't really see. I'll show you. I'll make a video. But yeah, that's today's project. I just wanted to summarize the magic that is afoot if you guys choose to see it in your own lives, in your own experiences, right? I put this necklace on yesterday morning and I had the most amazing day at work. It was slow as shit, but like every customer I connected with on a heart level, on a soul level. And it was magical, right? Do what it is you're being called to do. I'm calling on you. You guys that watch me, you know what's up. But those of you waking up now, get your stuff together. Get your skill sets on and popping. Get your intuition on point. Get your discernment on point. Get your chakras clear. Get your meditation game going. Spend time outside. Drink your clean water. Drink your green juice. Take your supplements. Get your shit together. Because this shit is going down. I met our neighbor the other day at my job. Get it together, and then the manifestation magic starts, right? What I was talking about earlier with my little bottles that I found. That's another video coming, right? I love you guys. Do what it is you're being called to do. I don't care how crazy or outlandish or whatever it sounds. If you make baby steps, the universe will back you. That's how that works, right? Law of attraction 101. Have a beautiful Wednesday. Ciao for now. You guys, I have the funniest Backstreet Boys story. So me and my friend Allison, shout out to you if you're watching, girl. I miss you. Your kids are gorgeous. We went to a Backstreet Boys concert. We were like the two girls in high school that were obnoxious and outspoken and didn't give a flying fuck what anyone thought about us. And we had the best time. We have so many great stories, but one of our great stories is a Backstreet Boys concert. We went to a Backstreet Boys concert. I forget, I think we got dropped off. Al, do you remember? We got dropped off by my mom, maybe, or her mom. And fucking Allison looks at me in the middle of the concert and goes, watch this, or like, just go along with this, or something like that. And we weren't happy with like where we were. We wanted to be closer to the boys. We were obsessed with Backstreet Boys, right? And fucking Allison fake falls and fakes an accident, and the stretcher comes, the people come, we get rushed to the back room, and the guy goes, oh my God, they wrap her ankle or whatever. They put her in a wheelchair, and the guy looks at us and goes, what can we do for you? And she goes, we'd really, really like to sit near the stage. And up right next to the stage, just partying our asses off, having the best fucking time. Allison, I miss you and I love you. Oh my God, I have nothing.